This is a pretty classic sharing and collaborative environment. Within the organization, you want to have smaller sites for a group of people. Let's say for 10 people, you want to create a specific websites where they can share the documents, images, and so on. So this is a classic application for you to quickly, within 2-3 minutes, you create a website, you invite people and say, oh, please share the documents, kind of thing. So that is a powerful engine. And you can also invite users from outside of the repository. You know, they don't have to be part of the system. If you see on the bottom of the screen, you can see you can invite, and you can see document library. You can see various files and so on. Basically, it gives you a complete information about the document. See, you can see the metadata. You can take lots of actions, and then you can share the files and so on. So basically, it's a classic share. You can have blogs, you can have wikis, you can have calendars, you can have discussions. So this is the events calendar. So if you look at this, again, the look and feel here is out of the box. That means I've not customized it, but you can customize it to have your own theme and your logo and look and feel and all. And with your front-end web server, you can have a different URL for each one of these sites. Let's say you have 10 shared collaborative sites, you can have 10 different URLs, but internally they are all running on the same instance of Alfresco, right? You can have 100 websites running out of same instance. That means from the IT administration point of view, it reduces a lot of your burden because you are maintaining only one site, but publicly you are basically giving many sites to the external users, right? So this is the SharePoint equivalent. So you can have document library, you can extend this, you can have dashlets, blogs, wikis, forums. Yeah, and then what I'm going to show very quickly is Alfresco as a web content management system. So there is a difference between a document management system, a collaborative intranet, and a web content management system. When we say web content management system, basically we're talking about public websites. So there might be a bunch of content managers who manage the websites, create the pages, create the themes, and then they push the button and push the files from your staging environment to your production website environment. So that is a typical web content management framework. And again, there are many types of web content management. One is called as wiki style web content management. That means you edit the files inline editing there itself in the production environment. Typically, if you see on the bottom of the screen, like wikis, Joomla, Drupal, PHP, all those belong to that kind of category. There is a second kind of category in the web content management called publishing style web CMS. That means the creation of the web content is separated from the production environment where you are serving the content. So there are two different instances of the websites. One is inside the firewall where people are creating, pushing it through approval process, previewing the content, everything is okay. Then they push the button and it goes to production. So that is called as the publishing style web CMS. So Alfresco belongs to the publishing style web CMS category. Yeah. And then again in this, what we call it as a multi-channel publishing via XML. That means you can take all the content is stored in XML format, the main pages through web forms. That means you can pick up an XML content, apply a template, and create a different look and feel for the different websites. That means you can reuse the same content at multiple websites. We have leveraged this framework at many websites. For example, Activision, world's largest gaming company, is using it, and they have 7 different websites. One in German, and one site for Australia, one in France, and one in US. But 80% of the content is same for all these sites. That means they leverage a concept called multi-channel publishing. Content is the same, but you apply the templates and create different look and feel and publish to the website. Okay, so let me quickly go through this. Quickly I'll go back to, it's the same instance. Okay, what is the advantage with this approach is basically, if you want to have these 3 systems, you end up buying 3 different products from commercial vendors. No vendor will give you a single product which has all these 3 flavors. The advantage with Alfresco is you are getting all the flavors with a single product. That means you are investing in one product but getting multiple benefits out of that particular product. Here in this case, I'm going to go through the web projects basically. You can see here, so this is one web project where you can configure the web project. You can specify what kind of where do you want to deploy the web project, where is your production environment. So you can specify the deployment, and You can specify the forms, you can specify the workflow and everything. So there is a configuration for each web project. Once you are in the web project, you can come here, you can edit the file. See, the actual information is stored in format of XML. So if you edit this, it gives you automatically, it takes the XSD of the XML and it gives you a form. It generates the form on the fly. That means the web page editing becomes very easy for you. For example, see this, it's basically an XML XSD configuration file. It's not a form. But Alfresco is able to understand that XML file. When you want to edit it, it automatically created a form for you to edit. It knows that, okay, this is the title, and this is basically in HTML, a small version of HTML, and this is something in a bigger version of HTML. That means you have lots of tables and so on. So it's a WYSIWYG editor embedded, and you can. The beauty of the framework is you can plug and play. That means you can replace, let's say, this FCK editor or something like that. If you don't like this editor, you can plug in your own editor into the system. Yeah. So you can finish this, and then what it does is the moment you edit the XML file, it applies the templates and creates HTML file for you. See, basically it created HTML file. You can preview it by clicking on the preview button. Yeah. I think there is some security within the. I connected to the wireless, so it has some security. It's preventing me to preview. But you can preview. There is a virtual Tomcat embedded into Alfresco. Probably this is the only web content management system available in the world which gives you real-time preview. That means I make changes to 4 pages. I change some images or layout, and I can preview and see how these pages look in actual production environment when you compare to all other files. So that is the classic preview functionality available with the tool, which doesn't exist in any of the web content management systems available right now. Okay. So I can do that, and then I can once I make changes, it notifies that, oh, these are the 2 files you changed. You can select these and say submit these files. When you submit these files, you can say updated page. Something like that, and then you can specify auto deploy. That means auto deploy enables me to deploy the files into production automatically once it is approved by the workflow. So it doesn't wait for the manual step. You can specify the workflow, and you can specify the launch. See, this is another classic functionality. I can say I am making these changes, but I want these pages to be visible on the website only on 28th of April. So I'm making the changes, and I'm saying, let's say this is a promotion page. I'm putting a promotion for some discount or something, and say, oh, this particular page should be visible only on 28th of April at this particular time. Okay, so that means you are controlling when a page has to be visible, and then you are going to say, you can select the expiration date also. That means you can say, please pull the page back at this particular date. I can say, oh, pull the page back on 30th of April. That means this page will be visible only for those 2 days. The page will be there in the content management system. It is not going to be removed, but it is not visible to the end users or the customers. So that is the beauty of the whole process. Is basically you are specifying how the page should look. You are specifying what templates to apply. You are specifying how the workflow should happen. You are specifying when the page has to be deployed, and you are specifying when the page has to be expired from the system. That means you have full control over what is going to be displayed on the website. Yeah, and then there's one flavor. The second one is once it's deployed, you can have snapshots. That means right now it tells you that my version 5 of the website is live, but I'm working on version 6. Yeah, so that means you can, for some reason there is an issue with this version, you can roll back to the previous version. Yeah. So that is the beauty of it, because what is going to happen is this was very helpful in United States for legal issues when people say, oh, this particular website in January 2010 has displayed these particular pages. So I can roll back to January 10 and show you how the website was at that particular time. So that is a powerful feature. But in the actual production scenario, what we do is we work on this particular version. We review the version, we preview the version, and then say once we like it, and then say, okay, now I want to deploy this version to production. See here, a little deploy button. I can click and say, now deploy this to production. So it gives you the deployment. And once the deployment is done, it gives me the deployment. It gives me the report of what files have been deployed, and it gives me all the reports of all the deployments happened previously. It says, oh, this particular deployment I deployed on 18th October 2009. That was my previous version of the website, then this is my new version of the website, and so on.